We'll be looking at the community update in Battlefield 6 with the upcoming Season 3, and all the big changes that this season has to offer. Without further ado, let's jump right into it. So the start of Season 3, we're getting Railway to Go Mud. It's the rework and remaster of Go Mud Railway, a ranked BR, a bunch of gameplay improvements, combat improvements, and a lot of improvements to Portal and RedSec. I'm going to take a deep dive with everything here, so stick with me right to the very end to know everything that's coming for Season 3. Following up after Season 2's ending with the Operations mode, what's coming in Season 3 on May 12th? So we have official confirmation that Season 3 launches May 12th. My theory was correct about this. I talked about this in a short recently because of a dead giveaway they gave to us within the pre-purchase for Season 3's Battle Pass. They mentioned they're continuing their focus on improving the core Battlefield experience. This includes ongoing work around combat, field responsiveness, and readability, while also expanding the scale and variety of experiences available across the game. Alongside these improvements, Season 3 introduces some of the most exciting additions yet, including Railway to Go Mud, the introduction of ranked battle royales starting with quads through our Battlefield Labs in live experience, and more updates that they're looking forward to sharing with all of us. One of the key themes they outlined in their roadmap was to add more of the larger scale Battlefield experiences you've been asking for. They mentioned they've seen a lot of excitement around this following the roadmap, and Railway to Go Mud is a key part of delivering on that. They mentioned in the video that this is 4 times the size of Mirok Valley, which is the largest map in the game currently, and it's designed to deliver a true large-scale all-out warfare experience. Railway to Go Mud is a reimagining of the classic Battlefield 4 map, bringing it into Battlefield 6 with modern technology and new design learnings while staying true to what made the original memorable. They've made a number of adjustments to improve gameplay flow, balance, and overall experience. This is a standout example of the Battlefield sandbox where infantry, ground vehicles, jets, and helicopters collide across a wide and dynamic play space. A defining element of the experience is the moving railway itself. We all remember this for Battlefield 4. If you have not played the version for Battlefield 4, I'll go very brief on this for you guys. It's a railway in the middle with a train where if one team captures it, it's going to move onto their side of the map closer to their spawn. If the other team captures it, it's going to move towards their side of the map, towards their spawn. There's a lot to unpack with what Season 3 has to offer, so let's get right into it. Here's the comparison from what Battlefield 4 looked like with Go Mud Railway versus Battlefield 6 Railway to Go Mud. You can see there's a lot more detail with the buildings, verticality of the roads that you could cut across with tanks, infantry moving from one building to another, and there's a lot more vegetation around, which means you could take cover in these spaces where you couldn't have before in Go Mud Railway for Battlefield 4. There's a lot more room for infantry to run around and take cover from air vehicles or tanks. Infantry moving from one building to the next to get cover to move closer to their next objective. As you can see in Battlefield 4's perspective, there was hardly any buildings at all. I mean, there was quite a few, but nothing compared to Battlefield 6's in this portion of the map. Keep in mind, this is one portion out of the large scale that Go Mud Railway has to offer. And now we're going to expand the map bigger for you guys to see the entire scale of what to expect with Railway to Go Mud in Battlefield 6 coming May 12th of Season 3. And wow, I gotta say, there's a lot more that I actually didn't expect them to offer in this map that we didn't have with Battlefield 4. I'll find a comparisons of the entire map for Battlefield 4's Go Mud Railway compared to this, so you can see how different they are. But you can see how vibrant the colors are in this one. It's not in the fall season. It's not so brown. It's very summertime, if you will. As you can see on the top left-hand corner, I'm going to go from top to bottom. We already reviewed the middle, but the top left-hand corner looks like a very war-torn state of the map. There's a lot of burned areas. Looks like a lot of artillery struck here. Some destroyed tanks, IFVs, maybe some helis. And with all these impact craters, you could definitely take some cover right here if you're trying to move from one place to another, which is really cool. Gives the map more variety of trying to move yourself from one position to the next without exposing yourself from snipers or tanks or air vehicles alike. Try to blend in with your environment even. In the middle where the railroad will be, below the village, has a lot of trees for cover there. A lot of vegetation in between that objective. It looks like a military camp of some sort, like a Connex. Moving downward, we see a lot more trees. And then finally on the bottom of the map is the 2 factories that we know so well from Battlefield 4. It looks like they have been remodeled. And then going towards the right, this used to be a small village in Battlefield 4. Now it looks like a factory of some sort, a small factory for a base or even a smaller village. Moving all the way to the left, we have the construction site that we know so well from Battlefield 4's version. It looks like it has been modified just a little bit, but not too much compared to the Battlefield 4 version of Go Mode Railway. To me, looking at these side to side, the point of interest are very similar to how they looked in Battlefield 4, with the distance between the flags, how many there would be. I'm assuming all the way up to G flag, which is like, what, 7 flags at most? And I forgot to mention at the top right-hand corner, where it looks like there was a landslide, you can see a building here as well. 2 of them, actually. Further beyond that, on the right, it looks like a small area. Can't quite tell what it is. Maybe a satellite comms area, perhaps. And then to the left, you have what looks like it would be perfect for sniping right near the road where these 2 rocks are in that vegetation in the middle. And I'm assuming, I don't know if this is going to be part of the play space, but the top left-hand corner, that could be a playable space for snipers as well, because on the top right-hand corner was also a spot where snipers would hang out at on this map, just like in the Battlefield 4 version. With that being said, this map looks like it's going to have a lot of flags, especially in Escalation. It's going to be double times the amount of vehicles in Escalation. I play Escalation more than Conquest now, personally. I feel like that mode gives such an in-depth spice to look at what they can improve with Conquest, because Conquest has always been the same since Battlefield 1942, and they have finally improved on that formula and made Escalation, and it's improved what the gameplay of Conquest has to offer. Also, I noticed on this picture, it shows PTFO on the left where the yellow stripe is. Alright, moving forward to gameplay improvements in Season 3. Throughout Season 2, they made a series of improvements with hit registration, netcode feedback, and overall combat readability. This includes clearer hit audio, more consistent projectile and tracer behavior, and improved visibility of network conditions, helping make incoming damage easier to understand in the moment. They also improved the time to kill with the gunplay, delivering improvements to recoil consistency and weapon balance to ensure weapon handling feels more predictable and responsive. They heard concerns about the time to death can feel too fast, and it remains an active topic in discussion within the team. And before they want to make broad changes to this topic that the community's had for a little bit, they're concentrating on strengthening combat clarity, including responsive audio visuals and damage feedback, improved enemy readability, and continued network refinements and more. I feel like this is a great move personally, because if they work on the netcode like they did for Battlefield 4, the TTK and the TTD, time to death, time to kill, won't be as much of an issue then, because if they do one thing and then test the other, I feel like they would pinpoint the issue and resolve what needs to be fixed. The time to death is heavily influenced by how clearly combat events are communicated. When multiple bullets land in rapid succession and feedback is unclear, even a 4-shot kill can feel instantaneous. At the same time, many players report the TTK from the shooter's perspective feels satisfying and responsive, which is what I've always felt. I have not had complaints about the time to death either. Personally, they're right on this. I feel like because people don't take the time to inspect who killed them, how many people killed them. There's a reason why they give you the kill log to show how much damage each player took on you and who took the damage on you and how many. I've had instances where I've had 5 people take damage on me at an instance because I'm in such heavy combat on the objective that I would die instantly. And I would look at the kill log and be like, that's why 5 fucking people shot me at once. So when people complain or get upset about something in this game, I ask of them, what makes you complain so much? When the game gives you that clarity, the visual HUD icons to help you identify the issue that you're facing, to solve everything that you complained about right there, is shown right in front of you on the screen. Moving on, this is another topic I could get onto in another video. They mentioned introducing broad changes before stabilizing and underlying systems risks, creating a bullet sponge experience, elongating TTK, weakening weapon satisfaction, and unintentionally shifting pacing. Their priority is to strengthen systems that support gunplay, especially those that affect TTK, which is the netcode. And to me, the netcode is not that noticeable. The only time I have ever noticed it is on RedSec, but it's because they have the hybrid tick rate system where when you start, it's gonna be 30 hertz. Later in the game, it's gonna shift to 30 hertz. No other Battle Royale does this. And even then, I hardly still notice it as I'm playing. RedSec. They mentioned one approach currently being validated in Battlefield Labs involves reducing damage dealt to limbs across several weapon archetypes. Shots landing on arms or legs may require an additional bullet to secure a kill, for example, while headshots remain unaffected. If a bullet passes through an arm and strikes the head, it will correctly register as head damage. This is a thing that people don't understand about the game. I've been trying to explain to them. There is bullet penetration. So if you get shot, let's say in the arm as you're laying down and your arm is in front of your face, you're going to get killed as a headshot. You're going to take damage as a headshot, including the limb, especially with bullet penetration being the thing in this game for your ammo types. That can affect greatly with how bullets go through targets. This approach rewards accuracy without fundamentally changing the feel of gunplay. In addition, they are validating adjustments to the economy of the hollow point and synthetic tip ammunition attachments. I feel like they have needed more of a in-depth look on their damage, their time to kill. Sometimes they're either too weak or they're super strong. I kind of like the super strong, but there could be a happy medium for some weapons, especially the ones that are weaker. Their intention is to make the hollow and synthetic ammunition more meaningful and competitive choices when customizing weapons, ensuring that attachment selection reflects intentional trade-offs rather than default picks, which means not everybody's going to want to pick the synthetic or hollow point rounds. A good majority of the community rather pick another attachment over the ammunition attachments, and the ammunition attachments are hardly used because of cons versus the pros and their effectiveness. They also mentioned weapon control has been a central focus since launch. Recoil compensation could behave unpredictably, sometimes requiring more input than expected to counter weapon kickback, although lately I have noticed some people talking about how most guns are laser beams on here. For me, some guns are laser beams, some guns aren't. It depends on your control and your capability of understanding that weapon's personality, understanding its recoil pattern, and simply holding down the mouse when you're holding the fire. And for me, I burst fire every time, unless close up, which means there's hardly any recoil anyways when you tap fire. With Season 2 ongoing, they have introduced tighter alignment between recoil output and the aim input required to manage it, improving overall recoil stability. With that foundation in place, they have continued to evaluate recoil balance across weapon archetypes to determine whether additional tuning adjustments are needed. Ongoing refinements will continue through Battlefield Labs as they gather live in-game data across skill brackets. This is good. They're collecting data as they go, understanding each weapon, what needs to be improved, what needs to be adjusted, what needs to stay as is, what feels satisfying for the player to shoot each weapon ongoing. They mentioned they're continuing to evaluate weapon behavior and time to kill, as I mentioned, with the focus of improving consistency and depth and making it more depending on hit targets at longer ranges. While encouraging more controlled and deliberate engagement as part of this, they're making adjustments to recoil behavior across inputs, including reducing how much recoil is automatically mitigated on controller, helping bring consistency across different control schemes. These changes aim to make weapon performance easier to understand while rewarding positioning and accuracy across different combat ranges. This is good. This means the guns will still feel like they pack a punch, that they feel heavy, they feel physical in the virtual world that you're playing in the environment you're playing in Battlefield, and that each gun still has their own characteristics and personality, as I always include, making them all stand out from one another. Massive changes done to the mortars in Battlefield 6. This has been a discussion of Battlefield 6 for a while about the role of the mortar, and Battlefield Studios wanted to reinforce its identity as a team play focused tool. The mortar is most effective when used in coordination with your squad, whether that's through suppressing fire or working alongside recon players to designate targets. Following with their latest update with the Hunter and Prey Season 2 patch, they made an adjustment to how mortars are resupplied from crates, increasing the resupply time from 10 seconds to 30 seconds to address feedback around frequency of use. With the launch of Season 3, they're introducing further adjustments that reinforce this role. Mortars no longer regenerate ammo while an active instant is deployed. Accuracy decreases at longer ranges, and discouraging long-range camping. These changes are designed to encourage more active and coordinated gameplay. We will continue to monitor gameplay data and your feedback as these changes roll out, with the goal of reinforcing a more mobile shoot and scoot playstyle rather than encouraging static, long-duration use from a single position. This is good. And there's going to be a big vehicle update coming soon, which I will get briefly onto, but I'm going to discuss that in another video. They're continuing to review vehicle gameplay across Battlefield 6 with an initial focus on improvements to land vehicles, especially tanks. Our feedback from the recent Discord community survey, particularly around vehicles, has encouraged them to share a closer look at the changes coming to Season 3 and the thinking behind them. These updates focus on improving how vehicle combat feels moment to moment, making engagements easier to read, outcomes more consistent, and controls more responsive. They'll be sharing a dedicated deep dive in a blog with what they're doing with this soon, and that I will go into in another video as I mentioned. And another thing they mentioned looking further ahead, with features like naval warfare arriving in Season 4, they're continuing to build toward a more balanced and cohesive vehicle ecosystem across all Battlefield experiences, including ongoing work with ground and air vehicle gameplay. My buddy JP is going to be very happy with this update coming, with the ping system improvement. Building on improvements introduced at Season 2, pinging will be more responsive and consistent, with reduced input delay and fewer situations where pings are unintentionally cancelled. Interacting with the system will also be simplified, allowing us to quickly mark enemies, objects, and locations without needing multiple inputs. They are also improving how pings are presented in combat. Danger and location pings will be streamlined to use the same shape, with danger pings identified by its red color, helping reduce visual clutter and making callouts easier to read during combat. They're also making massive changes to the structure of the playlist and matchmaking. As we all headed to Season 3, and with the introduction of Ranked Battle Royale, they'll be closely monitoring how matchmaking performs across the experiences that we have in this game, particularly in modes that require higher player counts. Their focus is on ensuring that players can consistently find matches while maintaining a quality gameplay experience. Players with crossplay enabled will see the greatest impacts from these improvements. This is an ongoing effort, and they'll continue to evaluate and refine matchmaking as they gather more data and feedback. They're also continuing to evaluate how different playlists and experiences perform over time, and that impacts overall match quality. As mentioned in their roadmap, they're also working on features like the server browser and persistent servers, which will further support how players find and engage with matches in the future. Looking here, this is what the structure will look like for the playlists upcoming throughout Season 3 and 4. They're updating how playlists and experiences are organized to help people get into matches faster and surface experiences that are more relevant to how we play. We won't see too much of a major visual change, but we will notice a shift in how content is organized and presented. The featured row is being replaced with a new quick play row that highlights modes and experiences based on our play history and preferences. For the new players, an attention experience will be shown until preferences are established. This is great, actually. I really like the sounds of this for newcomers and veterans alike. They're also reorganizing the multiplayer row to make it easier to navigate, reducing the need for horizontal scrolling while separating core options like custom search, featured modes, and single mode playlists from mixed mode experiences. With the addition of Ranked Battle Royale, they are introducing a new ranked row to better highlight competitive play. That's a great option right there. It's like this in its own category away from the rest of the game. I appreciate that. Looking at this picture, you can see a slight difference. It's not too different from what we already have, but you can notice a difference between how it's going to look when playing RedSec compared to the full title of the game with multiplayer, campaign, and portal. They're tailoring how content is presented depending on how we play Battlefield 6. For players with full game access, the goal is to surface a wider range of relevant experiences based on play history and preferred modes. I know, seeing mine personally, I'm going to see a lot of escalation. I know that hands down. That's one of my favorite modes in this game. For players starting with RedSec, they're prioritizing playable experiences more clearly, reducing clutter and making it easier to find content that's immediately accessible, while still allowing player experiences to be discovered through curated areas such as the events section. Nice! This is good. Their goal is to reduce friction and help players quickly find relevant experiences. Alright, now going with RedSec, starting with Battle Royale. They're making a number of updates to Battle Royale focused on improving early game flow, vehicle balance, and in-game progression. At the start of the match, we'll notice a smoother landing experience with a fix for delayed loot spawning. They're also making adjustments to how vehicles behave and are countered. Tanks will be easier to track when nearby, while all transport vehicles will be tuned to be less effective in sustained combat. With reduced effectiveness against armored targets and more limited weapon output, the transport helicopter will also see a reduction in health. Ooh, I kind of liked how the transport heli was already. It was easy to take down, but okay. All right, we'll see how this plays out. Helping bring its impact more in line with other options. All right, that's cool. That's cool. I mean, I do love the fact already that the transport heli is widely used across the community in Battlefield 6. I see it all over the place being so effective, especially in Battle Royale. Me and my buddies have been gunned down by that heli so many times, and I'm okay with it because I love seeing the transport helis being used, because in previous titles they weren't. Often they were more just you get in them and you leave them, ditch them completely, just use them as a taxi. To support this, they're improving anti-vehicle counterplay across the experience. They're updating the loot found in both the anti-vehicle drop and the box truck. Nice. I love the box truck. It's so good for anti-vehicle stuff. The box truck will also be renamed to the Explosive Ordnance Transporter. I love that. And will provide stronger anti-vehicle gear by default. When a nearby tank proposes a threat, its loot will automatically upgrade to give players more tools to respond. Me and my buddies are pretty good with planning ahead of time to counter tanks if needed. Usually we have at least 2 or 3 of us with rockets, as we have another with defibs. It's always good to have like 2 with rockets and 2 with defibs in our squads. Always, that's how we plan it out at least. I'll go in depth more about that on a RedSec video later on. I have plans for that. They also made adjustments to the recon drone, reducing its zoom level and increasing its cooldown to better align its impact with other gameplay elements. Okay. Increasing its cooldown, it's going to take longer, I assume, from how I'm reading this. Replenish a new recon drone. Reducing its zoom level so you don't see across the damn map to find people to go hunt down. I can respect that, actually. It leaves you to rely on the UAV more, because that expands way beyond our perspectives in the game. Now, ongoing with the progression side, they're introducing changes to how XP is earned during matches. Missions will improve more consistent rewards, reducing the gap between mission completion and world-based actions, while also lowering the overall XP required to level up. This is great. I mean, personally, I felt like you would get a lot of XP being the top 8 squads anyways. I felt like you got more XP out of the Battle Royale than multiplayer sometimes because of your performance. Sometimes my buddies wouldn't even get a kill, and they would still get great XP due to how far we got into the game even, and how much missions we did, what we did throughout the game in general. Now for the big topic, ranked Battle Royale. I'm definitely going to take a part into this. I love the competitive side when it's available. As mentioned in their roadmap, Ranked Battle Royale mode. Ranked Battle Royale will be introduced with Season 3 as a Battlefield Labs in live experience, starting with Battle Royale quads. So this won't be an official playlist in Battlefield 6 for RedSec, but a Battlefield Labs test. So that'll be fun. That'll be fun to experience and see how it progresses. I think with how they're going forward with Battlefield Labs now, they're introducing it to the public as well for the game. I think they really want to get a larger insight on people's opinions across private and public playtesting for Battlefield Labs, and to see how people feel in the public going forward with these decisions. How the modes flow, how the new playlists are introduced, the progression through them. And with this first iteration, this is designed to give us early looks at how they're approaching competitive Battlefield for the rest of the series, for the rest of the franchise. They mentioned too that Ranked Battle Royale is being introduced as a permanent edition that will evolve in the live game over time. So the Battlefield Labs tested version of Ranked Battle Royale quads will be permanent. It will not be a temporary thing such as the Battle Royale solos that they had for Battlefield Labs. With Battlefield Royale solo solos being introduced. I'm really excited for this. I love playing solos. As outlined in their roadmap, Battle Royale solos will return to Battlefield 6 at a later time in Season 3. They're making several adjustments aimed at improving pacing, early game flow, and overall fairness for solo players. They'll share more details on what to expect closer to its release. Okay, so I'm assuming not the first update of Season 3, or the first massive one, but the second with Cairo Bazaar is when it's coming. That's my assumption right there. For Portal, with Railway to Go mode coming out now in Season 3, Railway to Go mode will be available for verified experiences on May 12th as well for Portal building maps or building your own creations with that map within the Portal SDK builder. Later in the season, players will be able to create custom Railway to Go mode experiences. In addition, experienced player creators will have the option to toggle the train on or off. Ooh, this is kind of neat. I'm going to have to learn to do this because I've been learning how to script more, how to use the SDK builder and the tools that we have with Portal in general to create new and neat experiences. Still in the works of one big one that I've been wanting to have finished, but it's just been a struggle, by the way. So when that comes out, I will let you all know. And we can also have full directional control of the movement, which is cool. And have the ability to attach the capture point. That's really cool because there used to be a capture point on that train with Battlefield 4. So knowing this, is there not going to be one available for the vanilla version of this map, or is there, but you could take it off if needed? That's kind of interesting to think about. We'll find out on the 12th. By the way, we're only a week away from Season 3, so get your gears cranking. We're going to be rocking it out and having a blast on Railway to Go mode. It's going to be a great time. Now, they're going to be speaking about Cairo Bazaar. When this map is released later in the season, it will immediately be added for verified experiences in Battlefield 6. This small map, which focuses on infantry gameplay with limited ground vehicles, is inspired by a Battlefield 3 classic, Grand Bazaar, and they cannot wait to get it into our hands, which I'm looking forward to. I've been for a while. I've always played and recently played Grand Bazaar on Battlefield 3. Every time I play it, I kept thinking, I'm like, man, how cool would this be for a modern Battlefield game? Like a new Battlefield title. Like this is a remake we've been needing. And sure as shit, here they are bringing it back, but in a more of a Cairo Egyptian style map, which I can appreciate because that is a big part of the game with the lore of the story with Battlefield 6 and the world of Battlefield 6, the campaign especially, learning about the Egyptian side, combating against the Pax Armada. It's cool. I'll explain more in depth on that if you guys don't know about that later with why they made this choice. They also mentioned as the season progresses, players will be able to create their own custom Cairo Bazaar experience, which they hope will add more depth to the gameplay options. Okay. The custom search is fixed, which is awesome. Season 2 Battle Pass hardware availability. With the launch of Season 3, all Season 2 Battle Pass hardware will be available in Portal. Oh, sweet. I will read into this. This is actually really good for people that want to build but don't have the knowledge of creating their own templates to play custom verified conquest or break through other modes to build and finish producing your own Battlefield map. This will help you guys a lot, so I'm going to read into this. Andy, a passionate Portal creator, developed a custom conquest template that has been embraced by many talented creators in the community. To recognize his contribution, they've officially integrated his template into the SDK builder for Battlefield 6. Oh, this is amazing, actually. Look at how dedicated they are getting into bringing the community so forward with all the work that they have been making for this game and all the updates coming up and all the... Just being compassionate with the community is how I'm seeing it with Battlefield Studios, which is beautiful. Like, look at this. This ready-made custom conquest experience script is available for everyone to use starting with the launch of Season 3. Perfect. A message from Andy. All right, here we go. Creating the template has been quite the journey with amazing support from the Portal community. The aim was to create something that was simple to use and include as much flexibility as possible to make it your Battlefield. Oh, perfect. I love that. It's incredible to see how many people have been using the template, from creating new maps, PvE experiences, tournaments, or just fine-tuning the game for themselves and their communities. It's all amazing to see. I love his words. He said that really well. Very genuine. Now this is interesting. The vehicle impulse function. Later in Season 3, vehicle impulse functions will be introduced, enabling creators to simulate physics through Blockly or TypeScript in Battlefield 6 and RedSec. Physic impulses apply impulses directly to the single vehicle or vehicles in an area, similar to an explosion, with optional damage settings. These impulses pulses can be triggered by proximity with adjustable range, timers set on placement or activation, or interactive triggers like volumes, pressure plates, or tripwires. I'm gonna have to see what this does. Alright, I'll make a video in depth about this actually for you guys. In addition, 2 new verified modes will be available in Portal later in the season. Squad Deathmatch. Perfect. I've been wanting to build a squad deathmatch map and mode for everyone to play, especially me and my buddies, because we want to always compete against each other. So, like, sometimes we have a Discord of 8 to 10 people and we all want to play together, which we still can. It's in an interesting way. I actually made a video about that. I'll link that in the pinned comment. But knowing we could do squad and team deathmatch games, we can now do that more as the community or a private game altogether, a custom game altogether, which this will be fun for us. And that's it. All that's coming up for season 3. Here's a quick insight on the match infection rate for March with the anti-cheat. I'm going to go more in depth on this with another video. 2 to 3 matches are infected. It looks like the graph is going up a little and then back down. It's fluctuating. It's going up a little bit, down a little bit, up and then back down, but it's always 2 to 3 matches, which is really good. It makes it consistent knowing that there's very rare instances of this happening with cheating in Battlefield 6. And it shows the dates on the bottom there from March 1st all the way to April 2nd to only have 2 to 3 matches infected throughout the entire month. It's pretty impressive, I have to say. This is all for the video for now. I got more insight I will cover later down the line before or as season 3 comes out. Like the video, comment down below with what you're excited for the most about season 3, and share this with your friends and family. Subscribe if you're new. I love you all. Have a great day. Peace.